First of all, I'd like to thank you for being a part of We Kept America Great today.
Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you, sir. First I'm going to start off and ask you your name, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Derek Perkinson. I'm with the Black Institute out in New York City. We're a think tank that takes action on a lot of social justice issues: education, environment, economics, and also immigration. In this day and age of Trump, we need immigration help for our people.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you a little bit about think tank, and I'm going to ask you several different questions. As far as number one, do you think America's great? And as far as tell us a little about think tank, and as far as how it correlates with making America the America that is today and keeping it great.
Absolutely. Do I think America's great? I have this discussion with my friends a lot. America is great compared to a lot of other countries around the world. We're not going to make them great again. We just have to be greater than what we're doing. There's a lot of ills in America. I'm not going to sit here and lie. There's a lot of ills, especially racism with the immigration thing and everything like that. But this is a country where supposedly we have freedom of speech. We have ways to make money through capitalism and investment, opportunities to own your own business. So there is a lot of opportunity in America. However, minorities are being held back from that. With my organization, we came into existence 2010. The way we came into existence by Miss Bertha Lewis, formerly of Acorn, there were Board of Education teachers that were from other countries, and they could not get a green card to work here. And a lot of them was working for 15 to 20 years without a green card. And this is how the organization started. We mounted a campaign. I wasn't part of that, but Ms. Lewis mounted a campaign, over 600, almost 1,000 teachers through the Board of Ed in New York City, and she won. Actually, only like 3 or 4 teachers couldn't get a work card for one reason or another, but the majority, almost 98%, got it. So that's how the Black Institute became about. Everything we do is data and research, and we do it well.
That's wonderful. As far as one of the biggest contributions through the African Americans, what have you found that helped inspire you to be a part of what you're doing today?
I've been the one that's always wanted to help our people. I mean, to speak positively of the youth. As I was a youth, I was a coach of a basketball team at the age of 21, and my basketball team players were 19. So even before that, I'm like a big brother type. So I've always was conscious. I was blessed with a teacher. I had a teacher in 10th grade, Mr. Davis. I'd never forget him. He was a veteran in Vietnam. He went to school in the city, colleges, and he used to always come up with things. So one day he said to me, "You need to read the paper every day." So every day I started buying the newspaper, and I was just socially aware of things from that age on. And to this day I read the paper. So I stay involved. I try to be positive to the community, and I see the ills of our community. The black on black crime that's not something that we're not talking about too. We're to blame on a lot of our own problems that we do to ourselves. However, we have a lot of issues that we could help each other with. We got to build coalition. Like the sister said, economic empowerment is the key. We got to boycott the so-called Foxes, Fox 5. A lot of these people don't know, our people don't know, it's only like 5 or 6 companies that own everything. So once we identify these companies that's trying to hold us back, we need to boycott them. And if a Fox 5 will own a Pepsi, they'll own a Coke, they'll own some potato chips you may buy. So you have to get into it, do the data and research, find out what corporations and other companies this company holds, and we stop supporting them. And I think that will better our community, because then we could do black owned. When I was growing up, it was black owned, and it's like we got away from that. There's an aspect of the Black Institute where we do economics, minority women businesses. We are trying to get $7 billion of the pension funds in New York City to invest in minority women businesses. They have committed to do 35% of investment to minority businesses, and they have not met that number, not even half of that percentage number in years. So we're trying to, why we don't have entertainers who have, you have Diddy, a billionaire, you have Jay-Z, a billionaire, why they can't open up their own bank? And then we support our own banks. And this is economic empowerment. That's what we have to do. Buy black, we have to get back to that.
Now, is there a way that people can reach out to you?
Absolutely. I could be reached at theblackinstitute.org, O-R-G. I could be reached at dperkinson at theblackinstitute.org. You can call 646-659-9850. I'm very accessible, however you want to reach me.
That's wonderful. As far as like contributions and future ideas that you have right now, that's going to even elevate you higher to a height, a dream that you have. What would you say as far as that you feel that you know would be able to better serve the community?
There's a couple of things. I look at things almost more than three-dimensional. So there's not one issue. Like if you try to fix one issue, some people say, I'll stop war. And if you have one wish, stop war. If you have one wish, cure cancer. But there's not one thing you could cure that would not, that would help us on whole. So it have to happen on multiple levels. So I say that to say, I look at a few things. I look at educating our young people to respect our elders. I want to bridge that gap. Then we talk about our returning citizens that's coming home from incarceration. They're not being taught a true skill to be able to not have recidivism. So we have a program we're trying to do. It's called Career for Technical Excellence. They'll be paid a stipend. We have a partner with a company that's teaching coding and real life programming, 21st century stuff, where they can make $100,000 after the 2-year program. We have a number of programs. We have something that's very important now, a lot of people are not speaking about, is the Census 2020. This man, Agent Orange, who we call him in New York, Agent Orange, wants to put a question on the census to say if you're an immigrant or not. I work with immigration. I work with them daily, weekly, every day. They are scared to leave the house. They're scared ICE is going to snatch them off the street, and people shouldn't live like that. And the question is unconstitutional, period, because the Constitution says we are to count how many people are in the country, period. It doesn't matter where they're from. If you're in the country, you're using resources, this is what it's for. So you have to attack. I always say the battle is fought on multiple fronts. And this is how we have to approach it. We have to pitch in. Like my sister said, you may not be able to march. Older people can't march because they did their marching. So let's give them something to do where they can be impactful. And everyone has a role, everybody has a committee, and everybody attack and get it done.
That's powerful. As far as tell the audience the school one more time, because that's very powerful. I want people not to miss this, because one thing they didn't miss was 100,000, which is 6 digits, right? Okay, so tell them that.
What school? It's Career for Technical Excellence. It's in the beginning process. It's not done yet. We're trying to partner with the DAs, the county DAs. In New York, you have 5 in the boroughs. So right now, we're reaching out to Brooklyn and the Bronx to start the process. And we need people to support this effort. The participants of the returning citizens, all we're asking to give them is $40,000. This is low middle class. This is something that will pay their bills and let them get back and forth and have a little money to help their family, but then they're learning a real trade. We need people to help build this up. And they're learning a real 21st century trade where they could go on their own and have their own business after this. Coding and programming, this is the age we're in. Computers is the age. So this is something they could really learn. We need funding for it. Again, $40,000 is not a lot per year for someone to take part in that. And you do that for 2 years, and they're going to learn everything they need to learn to go out on their own, or the company said they would pull in starting. They'll pull you in after you finish 2 years and start you off at $100,000. How many opportunities people have out here to make $100,000 a year? Life-changing money. You'd be a fool to go back to crime making that type of money. So this is the type of things we have to do. It's a real big issue that we're looking to challenge, but it's tough. Not only housing is a big issue, but you have a lot of people have mental issues. The pharmaceutical companies is a big ripoff. They feeding people all these drugs. It's a whole, and again, the battle is fought on multiple fronts. We have to address these mental issues. Our youth, identify them when they're young. A lot of it is not getting done when they're young. I had the opportunity to raise my son when he was younger. His mother worked in the suburbs, if you know what I'm saying, and he had the opportunity to be identified having aggressive issues. So they put a weight vest on him, so to speak, just to slow him down so he don't bounce all around the room. I worked in a school. I worked with kindergartens, first graders. A lot of kids need some services. It's not being done the same in the community that we live in. So the battle is fought on multiple fronts. We have to come together. We have to organize. We do our data and research, and then we have to come up with a summary executive remedy to solve these problems.
I'm so glad to hear that you're looking at things from a three-dimensional perspective as far as coming together and fighting this battle and believing that you got to fight it more than one way.
Absolutely.
And in closing, I would like to ask you, what would you say to America out there as far as for just igniting the passion and as far as bringing them together, unifying this nation? What would you say, or anything else that you would like to say to America out there?
America, we all bleed red. We're all one blood. Let's love each other. Let's respect each other. And let that be the foundation, the building blocks of getting along as a community in America. Thank you.
Thank you, and definitely appreciate you. Thank you for being part of We Kept America
Thanks for
Great.
having me. I
God
appreciate it.
bless you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you.